Hello, hello, hello again, guys. I'm back here in the office, as I am all the time, every day. Spent the entire morning, pretty much the entire morning, in meetings. Had like a half an hour meeting this morning. We do a daily, what they call a Kanban meeting, which is like a stand-up meeting. I don't know if any of you are into software development or anything, but it's essentially your entire team gets together. In our case, we get together on an online video/audio call, usually just audio call, and we talk about what we've been doing, what we're gonna be doing, the day ahead, things like that, any sort of problems we might be having. And that probably wasn't a half hour. It's probably more like 15 or 20 minutes. Then later in the day, my boss decided it was time to have our sort of like a, where are we standing? What are we gonna try to get done before the year is over wrap-up meeting, which turned into a 2-hour meeting. Kind of wish that I'd gone into the office for that one because he ended up taking the entire team out for lunch afterwards, and instead I sat here and had a sandwich. But you know, if I had gone out, I probably would have broken off of the eating healthier track, the eating less track. If somebody else is paying for the food, I'm probably gonna eat well. But I'm home and I'm doing well. I don't have much exercise today. I meant to get up this morning. I told you guys last night I was gonna get up and go run, and when the alarm went off this morning at 7:15, my body said, we're not running today. And unfortunately, when I did get up, I came downstairs, I was getting everything set up, I was getting ready for my morning meeting, and it was just downpouring the rain, as you saw from the intro clip there. And it has rained off and on the rest of the day, which is awesome. Hopefully it will stop before this weekend because Duncan has 2 soccer games this weekend, which we will of course be going along with. And you know, I don't really like to go off on tangents. I don't like to go off on rants, but I kind of have to. And it's about people on the internet. I don't really want to be mean about it, and I'm gonna try not to be, but there's a lot of people that, how do I even say it without being rude? There's a lot of people that seem kind of entitled, I guess. And giveaways, like I'm a part of right now, really bring a lot out of those people. So, as an example, the comments on the giveaway video, the grand majority of the comments, if you look at them, are basically saying things like, pick me, you have to pick me. And you know what? It's great to want to win a contest like this. It's great to want to win a new phone. But there are people in these comments that are saying, you need to give me a phone, I demand this kind of stuff. And that's a little overboard. Whenever I see the comments like, you know, I desperately need a phone, it would be great if I won. Thank you for putting on the giveaway. It'd be great to win. Those are great comments. But there are, and I'm not gonna say it's every one of them. It's obviously not that. But there have been quite a few of them with these people that are, pick me, I'm the one that deserves it the most. I think I'm gonna stop there. It's just a really difficult process, I guess. But then there's the other side of things. And Chainfire tweeted this morning. The other day, you and I were talking about switching devices and potentially checking out like an iPhone 6S or one of the new Windows phones. And then I saw this tweet come out from Chainfire this morning. It says, can't wait for my 6S to arrive. And then you look down at the comments. Did your Twitter get hacked? Disappointing? Did you turn to the dark side? Anything but Apple, too bad. And there's one person in that entire thread, one person said, you do realize that he probably owns a lot of devices and it is possible to develop for more than one OS. And it's like, wow, there's one little sentiment of someone that realizes that people can multitask. Again, I'm not trying to really complain. I don't know, I'm trying to just understand, I guess. And I'm sorry, I'm pacing. I tend to do that. I do that when I'm on the phone. I do that when I'm talking. I just pace. Rather than pacing, I'm gonna ride the airboard around. So while, yes, I do appreciate all of the comments, all of the subscriptions, all of the followings and everything that I've gotten out of this giveaway, and I appreciate all the people that do follow my channels one way or another, giveaway or no, it gets a little bit confusing, a little bit potentially upsetting, but we deal with it. But honestly, up to this point, that is like 99% of the reason why I haven't covered anything iPhone related on my channel, is because it's such a polarizing thing. Being involved in the Android community, there are so many people out there, just like when I used to be 100% Linux all the time, there were people in that community that if you even suggested using Windows for anything, if you suggested using a Mac for anything, they would just rip your head off. They called neckbeards. There's the same kind of thing, that same sentiment in the iPhone and the Android communities. Basically, if you ever even suggest that you might be using a different OS, that you might want a different experience, you may want to try something different, there are people that will just jump down your throat. Now, luckily in these vlogs, all the comments that I saw on the vlog where I mentioned an iPhone 6 or 6S or whatever, all the comments I saw were basically saying, you know, hey, I've got an iPhone 2, I went from Android to iPhone and I'm loving it. Just supportive and nice comments. And that's what I love about this kind of back and forth. But there do exist the people out there. If I bought an iPhone and I made videos about it, I would definitely get some not happy people. Technically, I bought an iPad like a year and a half ago, and I have that iPad and I still do use it, just not a whole lot. My son uses an iPad mini on a daily basis. He plays video games on it all the time and loves it. And that's, I can't even remember who it was that said it. One of you guys said it, and I've said it myself. It's not so much about the device or the OS, it's about the apps that you can run on it, the ecosystem that you can connect to. If it's got the apps that I need, if it's got the apps that I run on a daily basis, I genuinely don't care about much else. Which is why actually I went ahead and pulled out my iPad Air again this morning. I've been using it for a video that I'm working on for the main channel, but I went ahead and pulled it back out again and started just installing the apps that I use on my Android phones on a daily basis, just to see how they compare to the Android versions. Because I know there are a lot of apps that are very iOS first, and I thought I would just sort of check and see. Now, unfortunately, because it is an iPad, I can't use Beam. I do have Beam installed, I do have Beam set up, but I can't actually use it for anything. I can just watch other people's stuff. But I was able to get Snapchat and Instagram and Twitter and Google Plus and everything else like that. YouTube Creator Studio. By the way, if you're a YouTube Creator Studio, I think is what it's called. Great app, works really well on Android and iOS, and just allows you to have a very quick at a glance, here's how my channel is doing, here's my most recent videos, my most recent comments, things like that. I love that app and I use it constantly. And it was very nice to find out that it is not a terrible experience on iOS like I kind of figured it would be. I think Google has actually started to adopt that iOS mentality, iOS first mentality when it comes to a lot of their apps as well, which is unfortunate considering they're Google, you know, the people that do Android. Anyway, I just noticed that I've been going on for about 10 minutes about this. I've gone in about 7 different directions, but it has been an excellent day so far, other than just being in meetings all day. And I do have at least one more meeting today. We've got another interview for the position that's open in my department, and it's late this afternoon, so I'm gonna try to get as much work done as I can between now and then I've got to go get Duncan after that. And I would just really, more than anything else, right now I would love to be outside. I would love to be taking the, very tight space here. I would love to be taking the hoverboard over to the park and flying the new quadcopter, and I can't because of rain. Although I think the rain may have let up. It's still wet, and I really don't want to take all of these exposed electronics and exposed wires out into the rain, or out into wet ground or anything. So yeah, that's, I guess, my little rant or long rant out of the way. I'm gonna go ahead and move back to day job type stuff, and keeping an eye on the YouTube channels and the XDA video that went up this morning. There's a bunch of comments on there I've been trying to answer. Tiny thought here. Somebody on the XDA video said, you know, way to promote yourself through the entire video, Jordan. The video should have been ended with, that's, you know, all for me posting stuff about myself all day. And my only response to that, and I'm gonna say it here too, is somebody's gotta do it. I mean, realistically, other than this giveaway that I'm involved in right now, which has been amazing for the channel so far, I'm the only one who's going to promote my channel. My network that I'm involved in is not doing it. XDA is not doing it. I've got to do it myself. And where else can I do it than on XDA? Anyway, like I was saying, I gotta get back to day job stuff. I've got to zoom back into the office and get back to work. Well, that was a fun little trip back into the past. I got a comment over on the XDA video for today saying Doorknob60, and I remember that username from a long time ago. He said, after hearing the intro, I still expect you to say This Week in Linux News. So he looked up the channel and found all the videos were gone. And I replied to him, and we went back and forth, and I started thinking about it, and I'm like, you know, I moved all the videos from This Week in Linux over to Twill.tv long time ago when the channel first started, which was a long, painful process. But after having them up there for a while, they weren't relevant. So they were videos from like 2010 that were just news videos that were new at the time, but when I uploaded them, they were still 2-3 years old. So I went ahead and privated them all on the Twill.tv channel a while back, and they were privated on the This Week in Linux channel. Well, since I privated them on Twill.tv, I started thinking about what he said, and I said, you know, let me go back to This Week in Linux and just make all of the videos that I don't have public on Twill.tv public on This Week in Linux. So it's an old channel, it doesn't have any advertising or anything on it. All the videos for the most part are old and outdated and probably not worth watching, but if you want to see where the channel came from, if you want to see how bad it can get going way back in time, it's out there. And actually there's some videos out there that have a lot of views. I didn't even realize it looking back on them. And actually I left a lot of them private. There were videos that were in the hundreds of thousands of views, and most of the videos on the channel at the time had in the 7,000 to 10,000 view range. They're kicking the butt of my Twill.tv channel. Don't know what I was doing differently. It was just a different time, I guess, but wow. it is still nice to go back, because like some of the videos I was just like, wow, I shot that and I didn't use a script or anything. I was on point. I knew it. Like there's this video here in particular, the Twilliversary 2011, where basically it was right at the end of December 2011. That's when I started the channel, was December 29th, I think. And so every year I would call that the Twilliversary. So I just off the cuff shot that video, talked about where I was in life and where I was with the channel and where things were going and where we'd been. And I was motivational. I mean, watching it back and the way that it was produced and had the intro and the music and everything, I missed that style. I don't know. And watching some of the older videos, some of the old news videos, and I used to do funny intros. I used to do background music. I used to put a ton of effort into my videos. And there was benefits that were reaped until the whole advertising on the channel got shut down, and I got, don't need to go into that right now. Lots of negativity we don't want. Anyway, it's sort of good to go back and look at the past, I think. Back to work. Alrighty, everybody's home, and it's the end of the day, and what?
It's not downloading.
What's not downloading?
A game he wants. Look at it.
Okay, crisis averted. His whatever game it was on the iPad was not downloading for some reason, so I paused it and started it over. Really technical stuff. Duncan and I had a quick little like 10-minute talk when we got home about what a web browser is. He's getting to that age where he's starting to, when he's at school, for example, he's playing on the computers there, and they're letting him browse the internet to a select few number of sites for kids' games and educational things. So he was saying, go to the E, go to the E. And I had to explain to him, it's not an E, it's a web browser. It's called Internet Explorer. And you know what a web browser is and what it allows us to do and how we can only get to things on the internet in certain ways. And I was trying to go into all that and simplify it into 6-year-old terms. It's not simple. So we're gonna get ready and go to dinner at the moment. Christina decided we're going to a place in Lexington called Chewy's.
And it's good.
It's good? You've never been here. How would you know?
I already know.
He already knows.
Because it has Mexican food.
He loves Mexican food, apparently. He loves rice. But yeah, so she's been here before. We have not. We're gonna give it a shot and see what it tastes like. That tasty stuff, buddy. This is the place that we're at. Very interesting. Oh, they had a nacho bar.
Really good. Good.
You didn't like it? Tasty, tasty, dangerous stuff. That looks kind of gross and green.
It should look good. It's chicken.
What?
It's a sauce. It's supposed to be
This
green.
is chicken nuggets.
You're having chicken?
Yeah, it's chicken nuggets.
Oh, okay. I'm having chicken stuff too, and there's some guac there. Jalapenos. I think someone came along and ate all my food. Was it you? Did you eat my food? He ate my food.
I didn't eat your food.
You're trying. There's
I'm trying to. I have a lot of food. There's no way I'm going to eat all this.
Miserable now. I think I definitely fell off the bandwagon for tonight. Just for tonight. We'll go back tomorrow morning. Yeah. Not going to have anything else to eat tonight. I'm... Duncan, did you eat enough?
Yeah.
Did you like Chewy's?
Yeah.
You got enough chips? Because that's most of what he ate.
He ate just chicken. It was really good.
Okay, that is awesome. It's $30, an inflatable for the yard. I think we need an inflatable. But it's awesome. Oh, I can get a banana costume. I'm a banana. I'm a banana. Ah, you found some vampire teeth for Duncan. It even has a little medallion.
Yeah, they got fake blood.
It's like $4.
Yeah.
Wow, $4 for this?
Milady. And you know you'd find the only Peanuts themed Snoopy thing. She has a thing with Peanuts. Oh wait, Duncan's dancing.
What is that?
That would be too big for Ginger.
We need a small one of these.
Where
There's
is
a
it?
medium. Is there an extra small? Well, this has pretty much described our evening. Vegging and video games. And we come again to the end of the evening. After a super helpful comment earlier, I started looking around on Amazon for, I mentioned this morning or yesterday, some morning, about these headphones and actually the other pair, and how they have the silicone tip on them and they slip out while I'm running, which is very unfortunate. I think it was yesterday. Someone in the comments mentioned memory foam, or just foam in general, earbud tips, and I hadn't looked into that. I'd looked into it previously, I just never went through with it. So I started digging around on Amazon, and I found there's a company called, I think it's Veritas, There were only a couple of brands out there that are really doing it on Amazon. There's Comply and there's Veritas. The Comply ones are like $15 for a multi-pack, and the Veritas ones were 10. And the Veritas ones were highly reviewed. They said they don't squish down as much as the Comply ones, but they poof back up to full size much, much faster. So basically you squish them down into your ear and you twist it, and it stays in there very, very well, where silicone tips do not. And apparently the Comply ones sometimes do not. So I thought I would give these a shot for $10. I thought it was worthwhile. If I don't like them, Christina might like them. If she doesn't, I mean, it comes with 4 pairs of them, so the worst case scenario, I can give them away to other people. And those should be in on Sunday, so that's very, very nice. In other news, we're gonna be getting up super early tomorrow. If I can make myself do it, I'm gonna get up nice and early and go for a run, because I definitely need to do that, especially after that Mexican food tonight. And then we've got to take Duncan to a soccer game. Not 1, but 2 soccer games. So that's going to be loads and loads of fun. It's a little bit of a drive, but it's not as far as we've driven for these games before. And I think after this one, he has 1 more set of games, and then we're done with soccer for the season, which I am pumped about. I love him playing soccer. I love that he's having fun and that he's learning a lot and everything. But it definitely takes an awful lot out of you, having to work your whole day and then travel to take him to practices and everything. So I'm working the whole day. I'm making videos for XDA. I'm making videos for myself, making videos for this channel, and driving all over the place, and it's just exhausting. The one thing I'm doing that's not taking it all out of me is this. This is actually kind of a relief. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up, get this video edited, and try to head to bed early so I'll have a little bit of energy to wake up in the morning. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.